Hello, and welcome to today's podcast, where we tackle one of the most pressing issues of the digital age, cyberbullying. I'm Paul Nebb, a cybersecurity expert and CEO of Titan Technologies, an IT managed services company that supports businesses and their IT technology and cybersecurity. If you've watched some of my past videos online or one of my many television interviews on ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, and radio, you'll know that I usually focus on helping businesses to stay safe from cyber threats and online scams. However, today's episode takes more of a personal turn. We're talking about how the online world impacts our youngest and most vulnerable users, our kids. Cyberbullying is a pervasive problem. Did you know that 59% of US teens experience some form of cyberbullying? That's more than half. Girls are particularly at risk, with 38% reporting they've been bullied online compared to 26% of boys. Beyond the statistics, the effects are deeply personal, ranging from anxiety and depression to students having to change schools to escape the harassment. But what if we could tackle this issue head on, equipping kids with the tools to navigate the online world safely and positively? That's exactly what today's guest has done. I'm thrilled to be joined by Ashley, a talented 16-year-old high school junior who turned her personal experience of cyberbullying into a mission of helping others. Ashley channels her creativity and resilience into her debut children's book, Sasha Goes to Cyberspace. The book tells the story of Sasha, an adventurous dog who faces the dark side of cyberspace when she's bullied online by Sly the Snake. It's a true story of courage, kindness, and the power to stand up to negativity. But actually, she didn't stop at writing. She also illustrated the book herself, bringing the story to life with her artistic talents. Beyond her literary achievements, she's an athlete who loves the beach and is using her platform to raise awareness and funds for anti-bullying initiatives. Today, we'll dive into Ashley's story, her creative process, and her advice for those facing online negativity. We'll also explore how parents, teachers, and kids alike can use her book to start meaningful conversations about online safety and kindness. Now, get ready for an inspiring and thought-provoking conversation. Let's welcome Ashley to the conversation. Ashley, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Ashley, can you share with us a bit about your experience with cyberbullying and how it led to writing Sasha Goes to Cyberspace?
I mean, ever since I was in middle school, well, 5th grade, I received a phone for my birthday, and I had a positive experience with it, and I was able to connect with my friends who live in different states because I went to sleepaway camp. Um, and I was able to text them and FaceTime them. But as I got older and when I went into middle school, I started to notice the consequences of social media, specifically apps such as Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. And I saw a problem that I was never really taught about. And I don't think I was properly taught how to use social media because when I was younger, it was such a new platform of technology. And so I really faced the problem and I wanted to help others.
That's great. Now, how did cyberbullying impact you personally and socially?
I mean, I think like any teen, there's always going to be things over social media that are said or things that people see. And obviously, for anyone, it's not a positive feeling. So, especially in middle school when kids are most vulnerable, um, I was a victim of it. A lot of my friends were victims of it. And a lot of times it's not directly towards people, but it's just over time it adds up.
Yeah, middle school is a really difficult time for teens as you grow older. I mean, you're not quite, a kid anymore in elementary school, not quite in high school. It's a really weird, tough age and transition. It's a transition point. I mean, that's why it's middle school. Storytelling, you wanted to share your experience, share your story to help others prevent or who might be in the situation like this to not feel like they're all on their own. But what inspired you to use storytelling as a way to raise awareness about this issue?
I think because it's such a sensitive topic, and especially for younger kids who don't really understand what social media is. Obviously, when they're younger and in elementary school, most of their teachers read stories to them and they interact through pictures and illustrations because it allows them to, envision what's happening. So, I thought that storytelling would be the perfect way to teach young children because not only will they hear the words, but they'll be able to connect to the pictures and visualize it.
Speaking of the pictures and the book, do you have a copy of the book? You want to show it?
Yeah.
Show it up on the screen here. All those different characters. How do you come up with the idea of using animals like Sasha the dog and Sly the snake as characters in your story?
I mean, I used animals because for children, I think any gender can really experience bullying or cyberbullying. So, and also animals are just a fun way for children to connect and envision the characters.
I know you have a dog, but do you have a snake too?
No, I used to have a dog, but my dad really likes snakes. And the reason I chose a snake was um because snakes are usually like sneaky and tend to scare some people.
Right. What was the most challenging part about writing and not only writing, but also illustrating this book?
The most challenging part was definitely afterwards getting it self-published because um I went through the process with a couple companies, but I did it all on my own and I didn't have any help from a publisher. So getting the formatting down was definitely the hardest part because they're very specific with the formatting and the sizing and the way the words are placed, and it was definitely a process.
Now, cyberbullying is a really serious topic, and we wanted to make you wanted to make the book engaging and educational. So, how did you balance the serious nature of cyberbullying with making sure that the book was also engaging and relatable to children?
That was definitely one of the harder parts. I got the idea to have the book take place in space because especially with phones and social media, it's definitely hard for children to comprehend because social media and those platforms aren't really a place. Like obviously people have the physical phone, but most of the cyberbullying takes place through the phone. So I thought the idea of space would really help children be able to envision what cyberbullying is like to the best of their ability, and I wanted to incorporate fun colors and just make it relatable. So I had the main character receive a phone for her birthday, which is how most children receive a phone, including myself. And from there, I just made it engaging with a lot of imagery and different colors and different elements.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Oftentimes, we think about the internet, World Wide Web, Facebook, Instagram. Facebook calls like their platform the metaverse. It's like its own, like you're on there and you're in your own little zone. You're not really in reality anymore. It's a degree of an alternate universe.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting how you related that. What do you hope that readers, especially children, can take away from Sasha Goes to Cyberspace?
Well, since it's such a new problem, cyberbullying, especially with advancements such as AI now, um, I really hope that children, especially girls who are young, just can educate themselves and be educated about the different effects so that they don't have to face the challenges, especially when they go into middle school or they, you know, if they see them coming, they'll know how to combat them and just so that they have a better peace of mind.
What advice? Say you were talking to me. I was a peer of yours. What advice would you give to someone who's currently being bullied online?
I would say that you just have to know, although it seems like a really big problem, which it is, you just have to disconnect from it. And I'd say the thing that helped me the most was to surround myself with people in person and not online, who really care about you and are really supportive.
Even as adults, sometimes you find yourself online and everyone, they're really mean and they've got this angry face on behind the keyboard, right? They call them keyboard warriors. And they'll just type things online. They'll leave a bad review for a business. They'll be mean, or they'll send mean texts over. But then you get them on the phone, you see them in person, and they have a harder time doing that. So I think what you said about the the physical world opposed to the cyber world is really important. We gotta stay grounded, keep both feet on the ground. So good point there. And parents and teachers, they also have a really huge role in not only protecting but also educating teens about you know your whole mission, which is responsible use of technology. How can they use your book as a resource to start the conversation about online safety?
I think the first step for parents should be, educating themselves. A lot of parents do have social media, but for the ones who don't, I think they should really research and know the different platforms so that they can control what their children use. And then I think using my book just to read it to their children and explain that social media has both good and bad, because kids these days, including myself in school, we rely on social media platforms and technology to help complete our schoolwork. But I think for parents, the most important part is informing their kids that when they do have a problem, the correct way to address the problem and to use their support system that they have.
Right, and kids too, if something is happening wrong online to them, they've got to be comfortable where they can go to an adult and get that help, have those resources available to them. Have your parents talk to the other parents and say, hey, this is going on, this isn't right. Now you've been taking, not only you did the book as a project and as an educational tool, but you have a greater mission here. You're looking to do some fundraising and support some anti-bullying initiatives. Tell me more about those efforts.
Yeah, so all the proceeds from my book, I created a nonprofit called Click with Kindness. And so anyone who buys my book, the money goes directly into my nonprofit, and people can directly donate to my nonprofit. And then it goes to a foundation called the Cybersmile Foundation, which they take the money and use it to fund projects driven to help combat cyberbullying.
Wow. We know this is a great problem, and it's great that you're partnering with organizations that not only helping teens out where you live, but really taking the reach beyond here. Bringing it almost worldwide.
Yeah, and I noticed when I first wrote, well, the reason I wanted to write the book was because there are no children's books on cyberbullying.
So actually, you've written this book, you've done these amazing things. Where do you go from here? How are you going to yourself keep spreading this message?
Well, I'm planning on also writing my book in Spanish so I can reach a larger audience of children who speak a different language. And I am also planning on speaking to the middle school at my school, and I'm going to my elementary school to read the book to younger kids. And I'm also doing an independent study on the psychology of adolescents and their usage of social media.
That's right. Now, what would you say to a cyberbully or people who don't understand the impact of their words online?
I mean, I think especially with children, a lot of children don't realize what they're doing. So I think first, if they can educate themselves, that's best, because a lot of times they don't realize the impact they have on others. But I think the message that I want to spread is to just be kind and just be aware of what you're doing, and to always look out for other people.
That's words to live by, right? You got to watch out for one another, care for one another the way that you would want to be helped too if you needed it.
Yeah.
That's awesome information. Ashley, is there anything else you want to share? You want to put out about the book? Where can people purchase it?
I have a website, and also I'm selling my book on a website called bookbaby.com. And if you search the name of the book, Sasha Goes to Cyberspace, it will come up.
Why don't you put the book up in front of the screen one more time? Let everyone watching have a really good look at it. You want to flip through a couple of the pages? You want to make sure they buy it so that they can see the
Yeah.
inside, keep all the secrets. Oh, look at that artwork. That's amazing. Wow, Ashley, what an incredible and inspiring conversation we had. I want to thank Ashley for joining us today and sharing her journey, her creativity, and her courage. Her book, Sasha Goes to Cyberspace, is a powerful tool for addressing the serious issue of cyberbullying in a way that's accessible and engaging to young readers. Just to recap what we learned today, cyberbullying affects nearly 60% of teens in the US, consequences that can be emotionally and socially devastating. But Ashley's story, her story reminds us that with awareness, resilience, and the right tools, we can all make a difference. Through her book, she's not only helping kids to navigate the challenges of the digital world, but also sparking an important conversation about kindness and respect online. If you or someone you know is facing cyberbullying, remember that you're not alone, and there are resources such as Ashley's book to help you. Take the time to check out Sasha Goes to Cyberspace. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, or a young person, it's the story that can open doors to understanding and solutions. Hey, let's keep the momentum going. Be a part of this movement to create a safer and more supportive online community. Share Ashley's story, pick up a copy of her book, and talk to the young people in your life about how they can use their voice to stand up to negativity and spread positivity. Thank you all for joining us today, tuning in and being part of this important discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, leave a review. It helps us to reach more people with valuable stories like Ashley's. You can also find links to the resources about cyberbullying and a link to where you can purchase Ashley's book in the show notes. Until next time, stay safe, stay kind, stay inspired. I'm Paul Nebb, and I'll see you on the next episode.